Okay, for today's lesson, the first thing that you're going to do, just like we've done previously, is you are going to check your work. So you first want to identify that you have listed the first 10 multiples of 7. So you are skip counting by sevens. If something is incorrect here, then you need to correct your mistake. Otherwise, you're checking your work and you can move on. The next thing that you're going to be checking is your subtraction. So if you have these correct, so 377 minus 298 is 79, then you are able to move on. If you have 2,321 times 7 as 16,247, then you are able to skip to the main course of this math review menu. Otherwise, you are going to follow along with me as we go through this together. Please make sure that you get a different color to check your work. Your multiples should have helped you with your multiplication because we are multiplying by 7, okay? For 377 minus 298, I have 7 minus 8. Well, I've got more on the floor, so I know I've got to go next door, okay? So if I borrow from the 7, that becomes a 6. My 7 becomes 17. So I do 17 minus 8 is 9. 6 minus 9, I've got more on the floor. Again, I've got to go next door. My 3 becomes a 2. My 6 becomes a 16. So 16 minus 9 is 7. And then I know that anytime I subtract a number by the same number, it's going to be 0. So my answer is 79. Moving over to my multiplication, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply up. So I have 7 times 1. 7 times 1 is 7. Again, I can look at my multiples. 7 times 2, if I skip count 2 times, I know that's going to be 14. So I have to put my 4 down here. My 1 is regrouped to my next door neighbor. I'm going to multiply 7 times 3. Skip count 3 times, 21. Don't forget to add the number that you regrouped, becomes 22. 2 goes down, 2 goes up. I always want to carry my 10s. My 1s are what's going to go underneath the line until I no longer have any more neighbors, okay? So this time I have 7 times 2, 14, plus 2 more is 16. The whole entire 16 goes down here because I have no more neighbors to carry it to. Okay, so my answer is 16,247. Okay, after you have checked your work, you are now going to flip to the next page, which is your main course. For your main course today, you are going to be filling in each of these boxes along with me. So if I move too quickly and you're writing it a little slower than me, you may need to pause the video in order to catch up. Okay, this first shape that you see, we are going to write the name here, and the name of this shape is a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. Okay? Anytime we have a shape that has 4 straight sides, it is going to be called a quadrilateral. Quad means 4. Okay? Go ahead and get that filled in those boxes. The next shape that we have is called a square. So we are going to write the name, square. And then we are going to write the description right here. The description is it has 4 equal sides. So that means all the sides are the same length. And it has 4 right angles, which means that each angle is 90 degrees. Okay? And that would be represented by our right angle symbol. Okay? The other thing that we need to identify is we have 2 pairs of parallel lines. That means this line is parallel to this line, so that's 1 pair. And then we have this line parallel to this line, and that's our second pair. So 2 pairs of parallel lines. Okay? Again, filling in your boxes as you go along with me. You will need this information later on in the week. Our third shape is a rectangle. And a rectangle is different than a square because opposite sides are equal. Okay? And what that means is these 2 sides are equal to each other. That means the lengths would be the same. And these 2 sides would be equal to each other. Lengths are the same. So it's not all four sides this time, it's opposite sides. Okay, I need to fix something on my square. Since all four of these sides are equal, I need to make sure that I show that by my symbol here. Okay, the other identifying mark is it also has 4 right angles, and those are already filled in for us. So that tells us it has 4 right angles. Okay, it also has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Okay, so I have 1 pair, and then I have a second pair. Just a reminder, parallel sides are sides or lines that will continue on forever and ever and ever and never cross or intersect one another. Okay, our next shape is a rhombus. So you're going to fill in the name rhombus. And for our description, it has 4 equal sides. So each side is the same length. Okay, and opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides. So this pair would be parallel to this side, and this side would be parallel to this side. But they do all have the same measurement. Okay? Our last shape that we're going to look at today is called a parallelogram. And a parallelogram is both pairs of opposite sides. Both pairs of opposite sides are equal and parallel. Okay, so that means I have this side is equal to this side. That means the lengths are the same. This side is equal to this side. Okay, and again, parallel. So this line and this line are parallel. This line and this line are parallel. Okay, go ahead and pause this if you need to make sure that you have all of the items completed on the table. You are going to continue on to the dessert. On the dessert today, there is a on Google Classroom Math, there is a game that you are going to play that is specific to two-dimensional shapes.